Well, hey Life Group leaders, once again, welcome to your weekly leader training video. As we said last week and we were wrong, this week is our actual last week in 1 Peter. So please make sure that you are either there this Sunday at church or you contact me beforehand so that I can make sure you get your new curriculum in your hands to lead your group moving forward. So please make sure to contact me. But this week, our last week in 1 Peter, our last week with our current curriculum, we're looking at 1 Peter chapter 2, and this really is just Peter continuing to encourage a church that's being persecuted from every angle. And just like with Jesus, the Romans are persecuting them because they're saying things like Jesus is Lord and it's treason. The Jewish people are persecuting them because they're saying things like Jesus is Messiah and that's blasphemy. And so they have persecution coming in from every single side, and Peter's just writing to them to encourage them to continue being faithful to Jesus. And he does so in the first chapter by looking at the things we've already looked at. He starts by talking about the hope of the gospel and what their salvation means for them. And then he continues to talk about, hey, your salvation has implications for your life, that your salvation should change the way you live. And so if you truly are saved, then it should bear fruit in your faithfulness to Jesus. But he continues, he's not done yet, he continues in chapter 2. And what he's doing in chapter 2 is he's saying, hey, you should be faithful to Jesus because of not just your hope and not just because of your salvation, but because of your identity. That your identity has changed as a people. Look at the language Peter uses to talk to a group of Gentiles, right? He says that they are living stones being built into a spiritual house. He calls them a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people belonging to God. Why would Peter, a Jew, be calling Gentiles all of these things? Well, Peter believed that because of what Jesus had done, that all were welcomed into the family of God. And so what he's doing is he's reminding them that their identity as the people of God means that they should behave like the people of God. And what do the people of God do? Well, look at verse 9. You're a people belonging to God, that you may declare the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his wonderful light. That you may declare his praises. Peter says, look, you need to be faithful to Jesus because it's a part of who you are now. That you, just like the Israel of old, you are the temple. You are the place where heaven and earth meets. You are the place where your neighbors and your co-workers and all of the people around you, you are where they are going to experience the presence of God, where they're going to see the image of Jesus. You are his representatives. And for Peter, it's their faithfulness to Jesus in the face of persecution that is the full embodiment of their testimony. That there's nothing that tells the story of Jesus more clearly than faithfulness in persecution. And so he says, hey, look, your identity, you are the temple, you are a priesthood, you are the people of God. And the most clear way that you can tell the story of Jesus, the most clear way that you can be his representative, the most clear way that you can live out your identity is through faithfulness to Jesus. And so this week, we just want you to challenge your group to be faithful to Jesus in just one specific area and in one public place. So being faithful to Jesus in one specific way in one public place, whether that's their neighborhood, whether that's their workplace, whether that's their classroom. We want them to be faithful to Jesus. And maybe that faithfulness looks like sharing the gospel. Maybe that faithfulness looks like serving someone in need. Whatever it looks like, we want our people to be faithful to Jesus in every area of their life because it's that faithfulness in the face of pressure, in the face of being uncomfortable. It's that faithfulness that tells the story of Jesus so clearly. And so that's our main idea. That's our weekly challenge. We hope you have a great week. I want to remind you one more time, make sure to get your new curriculum. We hope you have a great week, and we will see you soon.